Hi, forgot to add myself to the stage. How good is that? Yep, that's happened a couple times too. How is everybody doing? There's quite a bit of light shining. There we go. Let's take this way a little bit. There we go. So yeah, my hair's a mess. I'm a mess. It's okay. It's all good. I'd like to thank you all for stopping in. We have the Budvaults. Hey, good morning. Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. Peter, Old Man King. We got Madwood Barbecue and Randy, of course. Hey, thank you guys for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so my title, Monday pop-up, my description, solar talk. Yeah. I got my solar panel stuff I'm getting all ready. And I'm starting to get all of this hooked up. I was going to do like a video for this, which I probably still will do. Hi, Doris. Of course, you know Doris has to be a part of the video. Say hi, people. I do have that link pinned. Anyone wants to come up, you're more than welcome to come up and have a chat and hang out. But yeah, I just got the one solar panel. That's not counting my little one. So I got two, but I'm only hooking one. Hey, Sherman Family Farm. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, I have a inverter for Christmas. Nicole bought me. Hi, Nicole. Nicole bought me an inverter. And Chad Thompson is here. Yes, sorry. I think I missed you, Chad, did I? Yeah, okay. But yeah, Nicole bought me an inverter for Christmas because that's something that I needed to go with my solar panel kit. Now, that being said, I picked up, these things are heavy. I picked up a battery. I've been testing some stuff. Dirty, yes, it's very dirty. But in the long run, it's going to be worth it. I have bundles and oodles of wiring, different kinds of wiring from this to this, right up to the heavy cables. Now, I got these joined because even though I know my controller box has a a load section. Like you can just run your load right off of the solar panel. I do need. I've got. Let me show you. I got the red and the black to go to the inverter, and I got the white and the green to go to a alternate junction box, we'll say. And from the junction box there, I can run out switches and stuff like that, and connect to. Hey, David. Then I can connect to other things because I got switches for power switches, and I've got plugs, and I've got lights that I'm ordering, like 12-volt lights for ceiling lights and stuff. And yeah, I'm just trying some stuff out, see how it works. I do have these. This is one of them. I extended the wires on this, but this is a little light bar, and these things actually work really, really well, and they connect directly to the battery, which is one of the reasons why I got. Happened to I rolled the battery over it, but let me just show you. Positive goes to the positive. And I got a little light. And they're pretty bright too, considering it's just a little tiny light bar. And one of the best things about this light bar is it doesn't use a lot of power. Hey, Jamie, Lower Michigan. Chris's Creations, thank you so much for stopping in. And so these I can run either right from the load, and with the load switch on here, there's a button to turn it on and off, so I can just click it and these lights will come on. But if I have specific lights in different areas, like I have this, which I can put a little hey chef. Yeah, I'm early. This is a random live for me, and I'm just going over some of my solar stuff. And Doris likes all the little wires, but she gets a little tangly in them. But if I were to mount this onto the wall or the ceiling, I'd like to have a different light switch for it. That's where in comes the junction box that this can connect to. I've got some connectors on here to just screw them right into a junction box, and then I'll have a switch on off, and they'll work. So that's some of the things that I have going on here today. Oh, chef, you rejoined. Hang on now. I got something for you. Thank you, Drunken Chef. I appreciate that. I really do. Oh yeah, that's another thing too, guys. I also have a 99-cent membership I set up. So it's if you want to join and support 99 cents, it's not so bad. I appreciate every single one of my members. I really do. It all helps to support with stuff like this, because this is what it goes towards. It goes towards stuff for my channel. So this morning I have been, well, fiddling around with electrical all morning. I am planning to run the wires. I got a spot picked out where I can put my batteries. They're in a closet. The underside of it is not used. There's a shelf, and then we have Doris's litter box on the shelf. So the batteries will be underneath Doris's litter, which is perfectly fine because it's all sealed in anyway. But these will be a big part of what I'm going to be doing with a lot of this stuff. Now, I've got to get these black and reds put into my. Sad thing today, I broke my wire stripper. It doesn't work properly anymore. So now I'm back to this one. Fantastic, very high tech. I like the other one because it was just very easy to grab it and squeeze it like a pair of pliers instead of having to yank the pliers out like this. It's much better. But these are going to go for my load switch, and these will go to their own junction box. Don't screwdriver for this one. These little, this little controller that I got seems to be pretty good. I've looked up a few things, and I've been watching some little videos on some of this stuff because I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I know red is positive and black is negative, and if you touch them together, you get a shock. But I have looked up quite a bit of stuff about this just because I don't want to go into it very blindly. I'd like to have some idea of some of the stuff that I'm doing. So these very simply just fit the wires and they screw in and you're done. There's like a mirror in there. And you can tighten them down and you're good to go. And then the way this hooks up is the battery hooks up first, then your solar panels, then your load. So you got to keep that order in mind because it has to hook up that way. The other thing about this that I really like is this has 2 USB ports on here. So you can plug right into the USB ports and it'll charge off your battery. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to run a USB extender and splitter eventually because I want to see how far I can push one battery. Right? And it may or may not work, but I'll see how long I can get on. The other thing too is I'm doing this in the worst possible time of the year for the area that I'm in. I only get I'd say if I get 8 hours of sunlight, that's all I'm getting. And of that 8 hours, I probably only get 3 or 4 that will be hitting my solar panels. So I don't expect to see a lot from it over the winter. I can see it draining and taking a very long time to charge back up. But once summer hits and I'm in a direct sunlight, then is when I'm expecting to see some good stuff come out. I'm expecting to see some watching charger controller. This one I actually ordered it off of Wish, believe it or not. And it's a 60 to 100 amp controller. It's a 60 amp solar panel, 12, 24 volt controller, so I can have up to 2 batteries. Yeah, I'm trying to go a little bit greener than what I am. No, now I plugged this in. I hooked this one up to the battery to test it. The USB ports work on this one for me, so I never had an issue with it. Unless it's... Now, did you try clicking your load on and off? Because these might be connected. I didn't try it, but these might be connected to the load switch, and if that's off, they're not going to come on. Yeah, Wish still exists. There's lots of stuff on Wish that I've ordered. These little lights that I was just showing you is super bright. There's just a little stripe. Got these off of Wish. They were only a couple of dollars. I'm doing this cheaply, guys. Very cheaply. As cheaply as I can go. Like, my battery was expensive. My solar panel kit was expensive. Expensive in my eyes is the $60+ range. That's expensive. My inverter was expensive. That's why I got that for Christmas. Nicole's got that for me. No, she hasn't. She's too hooked on Temu. Nicole is. That's why she hasn't bothered with Wish. Even a midnight charger on the load was bad. Yeah, see, that's why I'm practicing with this stuff. With like, I'm not reliant on it. I'm just trying to practice with it and see what I can and can't do because I do eventually want to get. I've been saying it forever, and I kind of settled on buying a bus to do up. When I get the bus to do up, I am going to want solar panels and like off grid technology built into this bus that pretty much I'll do myself. So that's why I'm running this test here now in the house. And if it starts working out really good in the house, ooh, that's crazy amount to pay for that charger. I only paid like I think it was $60 or $70 for my controller panel, the solar panel, and it came with the connectors for connecting it to like you can connect it into the car, and it kind with the little booster cable ones that you can connect directly to the battery to charge up your battery if you need to this way, and you'll see it. Those are the ones I have connected to it at the moment, but they're not the ones that's going to be staying on it because I'm going to run it right on into the controller, and then the controller will keep the battery charged and stuff for me. I don't have to run it directly to the battery. Now, that being said, there is other ways of hooking up so that you can hook up directly to the battery and keep the battery charging that way. So, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so soldering the wires was fun. I lost my electrical tape, so I can't do a whole lot of joining of wires because I don't have the electrical tape. Now, the other thing, though, that I got ordered is I ordered the shrink wraps for the wires. So you put it on after you join it. You put it on. You use a heat gun. It shrinks down. That seals it tight. Those, if I had those here, I'd be able to do a lot more with it. But I am going to set my solar panel outdoors. That could be a big mistake in itself because this solar panel actually came with the hangers for sticking it to a window. So it did say on the package when I ordered it, it did say indoor, outdoor. So, like, these will go in the little holes right here, and then it would stick to your window. You put them in this way, obviously, so it would stick to the window. On the back of here, what's interesting, and there's two USB ports on the back of the solar panel, so you can plug directly into the solar panel with USB ports. Yeah, it gets very expensive for stuff like this. That's why I'm doing it small scale. But like, if this works out, because I'm going to build a frame to put this on, and then I'm going to use, I think I have a floor runner to go along the edge on the sides, not on the top and bottom, but on the sides. I'm going to put the floor runner to hold it onto the frame so that the wind doesn't take it and start, flapping it off. And then I'll put some screws into here to hold this corners on. That's it. Should secure it good enough. I might also, what I might do is probably silicone around this. Hi, Emily. Thank you for stopping in. And by putting silicone around here, just waterproofing it is, because it is going to be out in the rain. I didn't peel the plastic. There's a layer of plastic on here. I'm not going to peel it off until after I get this mounted. But yeah, it's semi-flexible anyway. I'm not going to bend it too much because I don't really want it to be bending. You're okay. Sit down. So that's my plans for this stuff. Yeah, will I do some videos? Oh yeah, I'm going to do videos out of it for sure, especially when I start running wires and stuff like that. I'll start making a little video for you guys so you can see what I'm at with it. Now, I've ordered some more of those little bar lights, but they're not the bars, they're little square pads, so they're more like a light bulb area. And I've ordered a bar light that goes direct to the battery or the controller, it doesn't matter. And I'm thinking I'm going to put like one of those up over my head here and have it. The other thing I'm going to be doing is with the inverter, I can run bigger things. So my computer is probably going to be running off the solar panel. My TV that's in this room will probably be running off the solar power, depending on how much time I get out of the battery versus, I don't want to turn it on and only get like 20 minutes or something, and then everything is going dead on me. I'm going to have to run some tests on it, obviously. But this is where in comes the way I'm going to set it up. My batteries are not going to be really accessible. I don't need the battery to be accessible, but the controller and the inverter I'm going to mount in my room on the back side of the wall where the batteries are, so I can check on them very easily. The solar panel is going to have to be mounted outdoors, so I have a spot picked out for that. There's a big tall post in my deck already with a clothesline on it, but the clothesline is down probably a couple of feet from the top. So on the top is where I'm going to put my solar panels, and that's up at the height of my roof. Which means if it works out good, I can probably make some mounts to go on the roof and do things that way where, okay, now my solar panels are mounted on the roof and I don't have to worry about stuff taking off with them, wind and stuff like that. Because this one's going to be freestanding. I'm going to make it out of 1x3. 2x3, sorry. Not 2x4, but 2x3. And that'll be the framework for it. So it should be strong enough to withhold anything. I've got some nice long wood screws to go through everything and secure it down good. So it's going to be a bit of fun. Now, couple things I'm going to have to do is make a junction box. Yep. So I've got this that I'm going to use for one junction box. So this will be mounted in there, and then it's got the terminals for attaching like one of these two. So this will go in and attach. And then these will go to wherever they need to go. Oh. What are you doing? Yep. So yeah, that's my plan with this stuff. It's been a little while coming. Takes a bit of time sometimes to gather up some stuff. That's just how it goes. I've got some wire that I need to order. I've got some lights that I need to order. I've got some fittings I need to order. And I've got some other things to do that, they just need to be done. Well, I think it'll make a really good video. Probably going to be a series, depending on when I does it, how long it's going to take. I'll see how long each video comes out for. If it's not too long, I'll put it all up together. But it may be a series. What are you doing, Doris? What? Yeah. Coming up? Come on. Come up here. Here, I'll make stuff for you. Come up. Come on. Yeah. She's just going to sit down there and talk to me. So, stuff like this, I find, fun. I like doing it. And I've also got some other things that I found around that I can use and incorporating into my fun, which is these little lights, green, and then there's a switch here that I can use. They're just cables. I got a few little lights like that, but then I've got this, which is an electronic key. So on, off. And you can take the key out, turn it off, take the key out. Nobody can turn it on. A couple more little press buttons on this too. These can all be removed. Lost keys. What are you doing? All this while having this there, and never dropped the keys. The keys fell out when I was trying to show you those. There's also this little number board, but I don't have a controller for the number board, so I probably won't be able to use that. But there is another little couple of lights on here too that I can probably use. Don't be knocking stuff down. Oh my god. Come on, down. Get down. Oh, she knocked down all my papers. Thank you, Nicole and Doris, for dropping some links for me. I appreciate that. Anybody wants to drop their link, you guys can just type in backstep. Let's go back to the comments a bit and see if I'm missing. So 50 from my setup, not counting the panels. Plan on getting, yeah. 500 for that charger. Is it the same? I'm down. You paid 500 for that charger. Is it the same one as this? Like, does it look just like this? Are you still here, Chris? Like, this is the nice little digital charger. I didn't think they would run that much. What are you doing? Being a nuisance. So, what do we got? Well, I got my circuit tester in that there. That's just stuff I was doing. What are you doing to the door? Don't even think about jumping in there. She noticed I had that open for video purposes because now you can see all of my stickers on there. Oh, it's bigger? Holy cow. Yeah, that's expensive. Like, they're ones that you definitely, if I was going full on solar, that's what I'd be buying and paying for, getting a piece at a time here and there. But like I said, where I'm just trying this out, I'm going to go as cheap as possible right now. But yeah, I have seen some controller boards. There was one I had put in my cart that was $130, I think. That was one of the more expensive ones that I found. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking. When I saw the kit with the board and the panel, and I bought that. Now, like I said, it's not gonna do your whole house or nothing. Obviously, it's only takes 24 volts, which is 2 car batteries, 1 truck battery, deep cycle. I didn't even buy a deep cycle battery for testing this out. I bought the cheapest battery I could get, which was just a regular car battery, which cost me $60 some odd dollars. It's not bad. But if this all starts working out, yeah, I'm gonna go out and buy a couple of the big deep cycle batteries. Tired. And then I'll use those for charging for my power supply. They're substantially bigger, the 24-volt batteries, but it's twice the voltage. I'm hoping would give me twice the time. Hey, Backlash Fisherman. What's that? Paul Ellsbury likes Santa Claus. No. I gotta pull it off. Doris lays on it any time, and I'm like, don't you put the cards? Yeah. What's that? Little plastic panel out of my drawer. Yeah, I went. That's where I got the big heavy wire too, because that stuff is expensive now. So I went down and my dryer that caught on fire. I took the power cable off of it and stripped it off, which was, oh my god, that in itself should have been a video. That was a horrible experience. Don't try to strip it off yourself, guys. Try to find some easy way to do it because it was horrible. But I got it done. I got my wires out of it, and I'm using those heavy gauge wires for my like battery to the inverter and stuff like that, and the battery to the junction box, which will then split off into the smaller stuff that I needed to go to. Um, and hopefully, I'll get using my power, the battery power, for stuff like using my computer, and this could be an all-time thing, all the time thing. And it starts somewhere. That's the thing. It starts like I'm not expecting to hook this up and I got my whole room done. I'll get another one and do another one. No, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting, okay, I'll get some stuff hooked up out of this and see how it runs and works and everything like that. Then I'll just add on batteries to complete whatever I need to complete, whether that's to turn this room into something similar to what I would set up in the bus, or try out different things. Like I'll start picking up like the different things I would need, like little toast oven or something like that. Try running some different stuff and see how it works. A coffee maker, something, simple stuff. Doors you got here going everywhere. What are you doing? Pat your belly. Rub your belly. Yeah. She definitely wants to be part of the video today. Sort of. It's a big nuisance. Here. Turn around this way so people can see you. Not just you sticking your butt up. Yeah. So, I've been having fun with this. And I'm thinking, like, what else can I run? Because I can run lights. That's nothing. The other thing I'm looking at, though, too, is when I'm running these wires, I don't want it to look like a mess. So I've got some moldings in that down under the house that I can use, to put up and cover wires that are on up the walls and everything. Because I'm not going snaking the wires to the wall or anything like that. And if I put up these moldings in that, they're just going to be there for as long as this solar setup is there. Now, whether that's permanent or not, I'm going to do it so it can be permanent, but I'm going to do it so I can take it down if I need to. Because if I get a bus or something, and then I want to take all of this stuff and run it out there, then I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, customs can be horrible for packages. Horrible for packages. Yes. Now this is the thing too, Sharon. I've looked at solar panel stuff and that for quite a while. I've thought about setting up stuff, and I'm like, where on to is not the greatest because the sun is shining today, but it's not on my house. It's actually the mountains behind me are blocking the sun from getting the house. So I'll only get it for 3 or 4 hours. Whereas I should, if I was on the other side, I could potentially get 6 or 8 hours of sunlight. Doors are retarded. But it's all a process starting, and I gotta start somewhere with it, especially if I want to incorporate it into any type of vehicle. or incorporate it into my actual house. Um, but I do need to be able to say, okay, this works, this doesn't. I need more batteries if I want to do this, or I can get away with this many batteries. Um, and that's what it is for me. It's that's why I'm doing it all cheaply. And if you just want to start, like practice wise, I'd suggest go to some of these sites like Temu or Wish or something like that, and look for some of the cheaper stuff. The first solar panel I bought just was one to charge my phone, just to see if the solar panels actually worked anyway decent or not. Um, and I clipped that on my backpack, and my phone was almost dead. And I walked for about, I would say it was about maybe 2 to 3 hours of sunlight on directly on the panel, and my phone went from dead up to like 70%, which, in my opinion, there was nothing wrong with that. For a couple of hours, I got 70%. So, well, my wife ordered these stickers off Animal. Good news. This means. I need to keep off. Nice. Amazing Striker off Amazon. Oh boy. Just a second there, guys. And we're back. Okay, so yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not turning into one of these big, I'll go solar everything. No, trust me, I still enjoy my electricity and heating and stuff like that is other things I have to figure out. Propane heating or electric heating or whatever. But it needs to be figured out. Well, I would suggest if you want to start with solar stuff, maybe start small because your small stuff is good for some stuff. As you grow and you get bigger stuff, you need more power. Add to it. Obviously, you may have to replace a controller. You may have to replace some wiring or something like that. But it's all a learning and growing curve. And if you know the small setup works, hey, I'll get a day out of my battery and a day charging, and I can use my lights all day and all night and not have a hitch. Okay, so that setup works. You can have that one set up and hooked up to your lighting, separate and independent from if you have like a 12 volt for my batteries and 24-volt for coffee maker, microwave, whatever, stuff like that. Um, then if one segment goes wrong, you're not saying, "Oh, is it with the lights or is it with this?" No, okay, well, my lights are all on this battery and they're still working, so it's not that. This is not working, so okay, so there's something going on this battery side or this section of the um, solar controllers or the solar panels or whatnot. So that's what I'm looking at with too, with doing it on a smaller scale and then working my way up. Because the other thing too is I'm looking at when you get on a bus, say I get a bus and I hook up the batteries. When the bus is running, I could also have that hooked up to charge my batteries as well as the solar panel. Because if I'm running the bus anyway, why not have some of it charging my batteries? You know? That's my thought on it anyway. And I'm sure that they're hooked up that way anyway. Because it only makes sense. You know, you're not gonna run your engine all day and not get anything from it at all, other than movement. Uh yeah, see Wixshare projects. And you're the right one. You're the right one to have here for this because I've never ever set up solar. I've never ever ran anything off of solar panel or anything like that. Only battery power and hooking up the solar to keep recharging the battery. That's what you know is fantastic in my view because you're just not going to run out of power. Um, Keep maintenance on stuff, yeah, obviously, and using the proper wiring and stuff like that because outdoors gets really cold, and if you're using the wrong wiring, the casing of the wiring is going to crack up, and then you're going to lose everything. Um, but yeah, the heating thing, I know you wouldn't be able to run anything super big off of it. You'd need too many batteries and too big of an inverter. But you can get some inverters, 5 and 10,000 watt inverters that will run a lot of stuff. But I'm running on 110, and the dryer that I just bought is actually a 110 dryer, so I could run the dryer off of that. Which is fantastic because that's I know, and if I get a few batteries and if I get enough time and energy out of the batteries I got, I could run my dryer. But again, heat source, I think I would end up with propane and probably the same for my refrigeration because wouldn't want to depend on the batteries for heat and refrigeration. It's easier to tell if your propane tank is empty or not. Harder to keep check on the batteries, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that too. Some of the batteries are not actually any good for hooking up, so that's something you got to keep in mind too. Um, the the one good thing with this controller that I have is when I hook it to the battery, it tells me that the battery is good. So that's one good thing. I didn't have to worry about checking will this battery even charge or anything like that. The controller actually came up with a little icon saying it was good to go. One of the things I read about it is if the battery isn't any good, it won't display the battery voltage and stuff like that. It'll just be like an empty battery or something there, and then you know that your battery is not going to be any good. Comfy again? Ooh, that is a lot for solar price. Solar panel setup. And they must be going to do an entire house off of that, hey? But I mean, like that's the thing that I'm looking at too is um more small scale, like certain lights. I could switch out certain lights in the house and have them hooked up to my solar panel, like one out in my hallway. I could switch it over to solar, so when you turn on the switch, it's running off the batteries. Simple stuff like that is what I'm going to look at doing with it instead of turning on my room light. I'll come in and turn on my solar panel, right? Because I want to use it practically. I'm not going to hook it all up in this room. And, I'm only in this room for maybe a half an hour or a couple of hours at a time, 2 or 3 times a week. And it's not getting used. Okay, no, that's not what I want. I want it to be used so I can see, okay, in day-to-day use, I get a day out of the battery, a week out of the battery, I don't know, whatever. Because I don't know how long I'm going to get out of one battery. I might only get like a couple hours, depending on what I'm doing. Well, Peter's here. Still here. D. Hey, D. So it's the same principle, just cutting back on stuff. Maybe when I get this all hooked up, I'll end up putting all the lights in my house for each room on this. So my kitchen, my hallway, my bedroom will all have their own little switches for solar panel. And don't get me wrong, that'd be fantastic if the power goes out. Because it does happen here over the winter quite a bit sometimes. That the power goes and it doesn't come back. I got lighting in my house. That's stuff that I'm looking at. And even if it's just lighting, I do have a small generator that will run my one of my electric heaters. So then I have power and I have heat. Okay, what else do I got? I got all my camping gear is basically survival kit anyway. But I have my camping gear, my stove, my propane stove, stuff like that, so I can cook and eat. I'll be okay here in the house. We will be okay here in the house if the power goes. But at least it's there. And if I use that instead of my regular power, if I get a week without having to use my lights in my house, it saves on my power bill. Holy cow. Yeah. See that and stuff like that is stuff that I need to know. I missed some comments there, guys. I'm rambling on, so I'm missing comments. Well, we got Eddie coming on. How's it going, Eddie?
What's up, Alvin?
How old is it? You at work?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. Doing
Hold on.
good, are you? Oh, man, he's gone. Yeah, so Wixer, I am going to go back to all your comments in here because you've got a lot of great information here that you're just pumping in there for me. And I really appreciate that. I have 2 lithium batteries each. One does 30 amps. So nice. See, stuff like that, I know I didn't go lithium or anything because it's expensive and it's way better. I know that. Like, from what I heard, a deep cycle battery, you'll get probably 5 to 10 years out of, but a lithium battery, you'll get 20 to 50 or something. So I don't know. I don't remember all of the details on it, but I know lithium lasts twice as long as anything else. So how you doing, Eddie?
I'm at work.
Nice.
How are you doing, Al?
Good. I'm just fiddling around with some of my solar stuff and said I'd pop up online for a little bit.
What solar stuff, Al?
My solar panel kit, Ned. I got a solar panel kit
For what?
for the house.
Ain't that
There's
like
only what?
ain't that like big?
No, the one I got is only small. I'm just starting out. I'm just making like a starter kit type thing.
Oh, okay.
So like I got the controller panel.
Hey D. Hey Josh. Hey Billy Joe, Peter.
That's the solar panel.
Hold on, I'm not looking. I'm looking at chat. What?
It's a 60 amp solar panel. It's nothing huge. It says it's a 60 amp solar panel.
Okay.
And then I got my car battery. That's heavy.
Lift it up, Al.
Lift it up, Al. I knew you were going to want to see it. It's just a little one. You know, do a few of these with it. And,
I haven't seen a car battery that small, Al.
Actually, that
looks like more like a lawnmower battery.
No, it's not a lawnmower battery. Too big for that, and it's too big for a motorcycle battery. So get that out of your head too, because I know that was coming.
What car does that fit in?
It fits in like the Pontiac Wave and the Avails.
Like a small electric car?
Not an electric car, no, but it's one of them small ones that you pick them up on the back end when you want to change the tire. But I'm only starting out small. I'm not doing no huge.
Hoorah, Terry.
I'm just car battery 3 years, Deek cycle 7, and lithium 15. Yeah.
All right. Well, Sammy's back in the truck now, so I might jump back up later, but I got to go to work.
Oh, yeah, I'm probably not going to be on super long anyway, but thanks for stopping in, Eddie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we just got done with the job and got in the truck. Now we're fixing to head to another job, but I got to call and find out a price for a customer and stuff. So
Nice.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
See ya. And hello, Miss Rebecca.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Let's turn it off. I can hardly hear you. That's me,
I'm trying to see if I can find something.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, Ronald.
I'm back here where you can't see my face.
Hiding out, are you?
I don't know if you've seen this. Did you know that I sent some of the wood that I got from a tree to Jerry?
Oh, yes. I know what you're going to show me. Your pen set. It's very nice.
It is.
They are very nice.
I have been.
Ronald got a set too.
Ronald definitely got a set too, but look at this.
They're beautiful. They are really well done.
For sure. I don't know why my brother does things he does. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah.
I'm plugging your tree in.
Oh, you are. Wow. It is almost Christmas in a week.
Yep. This weekend. Imagine this weekend is Christmas.
I know it. And tonight I'm going live with Tish Ross.
Oh, nice.
And making her hat finally.
Nice.
So
plug this in here.
Me, I'll probably be at my stuff all night like this.
Hi, Judge Webb.
Hey, Webb. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys.
I've been definitely listening to you about solar. I haven't really gotten on the bandwagon yet because
Well-
I had some people come by here and take a look at our roof, but it's very shallow.
Yeah, it's a
So
shallow
the thing that
grading
they
on the
would
roof.
have to end up doing is putting some frame to get one to work in our area.
Mm.
Hi, Chris's Creation Fun.
No, I know a lot of people that have built frames for solar panels and that's just underground. But I mean, like I'm looking at like this little tiny strip, and it's really super bright.
Wow. Yes, that is.
But it lights up a lot, and I'm thinking I've got two of these, so even if I wired these side by side or one end into the other, that is a lot of light. And look at the space it is. That's the light. So there's nothing to it.
And
Hi,
The
Dee.
wires are even super fun.
So there's really nothing.
there's that. How do I turn this one
There's a switch, I think,
on?
on the cord, Ronald.
No. Let's see.
I'm not really. I know there's connections
Ah,
to it.
there it is. Nope. That's to that one.
Ronald's trying to get the Christmas trees lit.
Okay. Let's see.
There it
is.
There it
There
is.
it is. Okay. Good. Got it.
Thank you, Ronald.
Whoops. Ah, there.
Nice.
He wanted to move my. There's a
Nature.
gourd nativity over there. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get the angle right. That was painted by someone that I have met and bought her gourds. And then there's of course 2 Christmas trees over there. You know.
Well, let's see.
And there's Gigi back there. You see her on the chair.
Yeah.
She's right there.
Hey, Dee.
Hey,
Andy.
what's going on?
This is it. I'm just playing with some of my solar panel stuff.
Hi, Dee.
I had to do it and see what's up.
I have thought about going solar, but I don't know. And my daughter actually works for a company that installs solar.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a metal roof, and she says that they say it's really hard to install on a metal roof.
Well, yeah, you have the anchor frame. You have the anchor frames and that in there. See.
Yeah. Can I say something to Josh real quick?
Sure.
Hey, Josh, if you want to come, I usually go live on Sundays at 5. Come on over to my live, pop up there with us, and then we'll just all jump over to yours after that. That way, hopefully help you get you some watch hours. How's that?
Yeah, you can link the lives like that now, can't you? Like you can link your chat to the live, so when you shut yours down, everybody ends up over there.
I think you can. I don't know how, and probably.
I don't know. I haven't played around with it either, but I know that is a feature that's on there now.
Yeah, Eddie could help me do that, I'm sure, or walk me through how to do that because he's usually there. But that would give you some more, watch time. Or come on over, maybe co-stream.
There you go. Co-streaming works too.
I would love to see some of the people that I normally go in their live streams, just to talk or whatever. I'd love to see them come over and visit with mine, but I don't know if they are not subbed and, notifications hit or whatever to know that I'm going live or what. But I'd sure like to have them over there. Oh, that's awesome. Is that till 3,000 or 4,000? Yeah, if I'd have known last night, I could have tried to pop over with you, to support you, but I didn't know you was going live. But I've got you. I don't know if all my notifications was hit and all that stuff, so they are now. But you're more than welcome to pop up there with me and talk, and then we'll just jump right on over to yours. Let's see, Nikki, you might have to unsubscribe and subscribe again, because I think that's usually what happens when, they don't work that way.
I have to do that with all of my subscribers because most of my people, when they go live, I don't get a notification right away.
Yeah. Oh,
I have
that's
that issue.
awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, Josh, hey, come on over, join us and have a good time, and we'll jump over for you. Or if you, like I said, if you want to co-stream, we'll co-stream and try to help you out. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello, Tiffany.
Me.
Ronald's pin set is a little bit different. His has two black lines in his, and Jerry was telling me that was really hard to cut in because of the maple.
Well, I picked out my wood last night.
Yes, you did.
And
I loved it. It's beautiful.
Mine is going to be made out of a Maker's Mark barrel. And I don't know if y'all realize or anything, but Maker's Mark is made in Kentucky. And I'm all about Kentucky. So, and then also he's going to, how you have your double bands on yours, Rebecca? Don't you have double bands?
No, because mine is from a tree that was in my front yard.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't he put two lines on yours? Burn two lines.
Ronald had that cut into his, but I didn't in mine.
Well, he's going to put two on the top barrel of mine. He's going to put two at the top and two at the bottom, so it looks like a barrel band.
Ooh.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm psyched. He's got another one to do before he does mine, and I went ahead and got me a set instead of not just a mechanical pencil. I'm going to get me a set, so I can't wait to see how it looks. But yeah, and he said it smelled like the bourbon, so it was pretty cool. It probably won't when I get it because it'll be sealed, but it's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. There's Miss Gigi.
She gonna go and keep Ronald company.
She's gonna go crawl on Ronald. Why do you have to fiddle?
Okay, well he's gone. I've got the screen off on mine. I'm working on some reports here, so you may have to read it or whatever.
Okay.
But I can hear you.
Okay.
Nikki, I hope or not Nikki, but Tiffany, I hope you're all ready for Christmas. And Nikki, I hope you and Al are too.
Ronald already has his Christmas present from his sister. That's what. Because I ended up giving, having those pins made is what his Christmas present was going to be.
I see.
We don't really do gifts at Christmas. I mean, generally, if there's something we want, we have the wherewithal, then we go ahead and get it. So there's really not anything we need.
I think the boys want to go out, Ronald.
But we just celebrate the birth of Christ and do it that way.
Yeah. All I gotta get is all my stuff cleaned up.
Does Doris like a tree, or do you have a tree up, Al?
She doesn't bother the tree at all. She sits down and looks at it. She knocked a couple of the the bulbs off of it, but she mostly just sits and stares at it. So why is there a tree in my house?
That's what my grandkitty does.
Yeah.
My daughter's got a black tree with black and silver balls, red lights, and a black skirt and a black cat that lays underneath of it all.
No.
And it doesn't sound like it would be very pretty, but it is.
Nice.
I guess Ronald wants me to be in the light.
Nikki, how you feeling, hon? Good, I hope.
She's feeling really funny at the moment.
Yeah.
J&J. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Hunt and stuff. J&J. Hi, John.
Hey, John, how you doing, hon? Is she feeling sassy?
Yeah, a little.
That's okay.
She's watching the live too now. I know she is. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting this one off in a little bit. But it's been fantastic to come and hang out and share some of these ideas with some people because, you know, like yourself, thinking about the solar panel and that and wanting to go, not wanting to do it, but wanting to do it. There's other ways. You don't have to be mounted to a roof. If you got some space, you can mount them on the ground.
I'll be right back.
You've given me an idea. I may get the guys that she works with, maybe come over and do some talking on my live.
Because this one that I'm doing, that I'm putting outside, I'm not even putting it on my roof. There's a post out on my step, and I'm going to build a box on top of the post and attach that to it.
Yeah.
So it'll be freestanding off the house because I don't want to get up and put holes in my roof for this solar panel and then turn out and not have it work the way I want it to.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of worried about with, you know, putting holes all over my roof.
Mm.
I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't
No,
know.
it's put in professional. Like, obviously, if it's put in professionally, it would be in good, right? Hello.
How's the video and how is the sound quality?
Good.
All right, not bad for being off
Good.
grid. Interrupting you guys. Did you want me to talk a little bit about solar?
Sure.
All right, for those of you that don't like solar, you know, tune yourself out. So most people want to get into solar. Again, I took 10 years of research. 10 years of research of solar. Can I run a house on it? And what I came up with is the system. What I wanted to start out with was learning on a 12-volt system, you know, those lead acid car batteries. And they're great for short bursts of power. They start an engine up, but then it's on your alternator. The plates are so thin. So you could keep LED lights on 24 hours or charge your phone off them or a laptop, but you're not running your coffee maker off a 12-volt single or double two batteries, car batteries. They just it's not built for it. It's not ideal. Deep cycle batteries. Once you do deep cycle batteries, you got to buy them in pairs, right? If you're going with a 12-volt system, the voltage doesn't change, but the amp hours add up. That's longevity. So you start chaining them. But wait, how far can you chain 12-volt deep cycle batteries? Because they're given X amount of amps out. Once you get up beyond 8, once you start getting the 12, 15, or 20 batteries in a row, and you make a second row of maybe 10, you know how many amps that is? Do you know how dangerous that is if you're touching wires and stuff, or if you cross a connection? Volts don't kill, amps kill you.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's DC. When you pack up enough amps in DC, even at 12 volts, you pack enough of those batteries up, deep cycle, in a row. People with a line of 20 and another 20 stack coming in parallel, hooked in series. You know, they make a cross connection or they touch it bare hand, they're dead. So you gotta know what you're doing. You're gonna have a nut job like this explain to you, like, what do you want to do? You know, so for us, we need a lot of power. We need those high amps. I got to go with lithium, but I can't afford it. So what did I do? I contact the place where the car crashes happen. What do they call those places where all the cars ended up? junkyard, right?
Junkyards.
Yeah, junkyards. I said, I got $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Told the guy there, here's my phone number. If you come across an accident with the one of those EV vehicles, those electric vehicles, you come tell me. I'll drop $1,000 in your pocket, said and done. No questions. You just got to point it out where it is. I'll remove the battery and I'll take it out myself. Damaged or not damaged, I'll take the risk. He goes, deal. Get a call 3 months later. We got this little Smart for Two. So, yeah, it's a little Smart for Two car. It's got 2 doors, and it's all electrical, and it has this 23 or 25 kilowatt battery in there. And I said, where did it get hit? Right? He goes, oh, it got hit in the front end. You still want the battery? He's thinking battery. I'm thinking, gasoline tank size battery. That's what I know what's inside that car. He goes, oh, it got hit in the front. Well, that's the trunk. There's nothing in the front of that car. The battery's sitting in the back. It's where the engine usually is on those cars. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come in. My friend Dave and I had to get Dave. We had to bring the truck around. And Dave's like, you ready to do this? And I'm like, no, because I know I looked the average weight. The weight, I think, was 375 or 385 pounds of lead. I mean, lithium battery encased in a steel cage. Him and I lift the battery up with 2 men grunting. We get in the back of the truck. The truck goes like this. So, I've got 400 pounds sitting in the back of my truck. We drive it over to his place. We pull the case off. It's got a giant arc across there. And Dave's like, oh, I think it shot it out. And I'm like, what caused that arc? Did they do welding? He goes, oh, no, Billy, that's the lithium. It's C3. I'm like, what C3? He's like, count the battery packs. I was like, there's 3 of them in there. He goes, okay, so the voltage must be, and it says on the manual, 321 watts or something, or 321 volts. It's a 321 volt battery, lithium, right? So each one is about 100 volt battery. There's 3 100 volt batteries. And I'm like, Dave, I'm in trouble. This is a 100 volt battery. I can't run a 12 volt system. I can't run a 24, a 36, a 48. I can't run a 96 volt system. And at 100 volts, obviously it's a sag. I can't run 110 volt. Well, you can't because it's DC. It's not alternating current. So I'm like, I'm in trouble. What do we do? He's like, calm down, little Padawan. I'm going to teach you how to do this. We go to his garage. We open the pack. We split the cells, the tabs up. We separate those 3 batteries out. We test them. We get the voltages. Okay, we knew the batteries were going to be kind of dead. We knew that. So we had to find the blown out cells, these little pouches. I don't know how to describe it. It looked like a Sunkiss pouch, like a Sunkiss pouch. And they got the positive and negative tabs on them. We look through the battery. We see a couple of them are blown up. They look like, puffy. And Dave's like, all right, those are the bad ones. So I'm like, okay, so we're losing series of cells out of it. I said, make me the biggest series you can. He goes, what do you want? An S12? I'm like, I will take an S12. Can you make an S14? I want a higher voltage because I know certain charge controllers can handle those high voltages in a 48 volt system. And the higher the voltage is, the more efficient the system. Yeah, that's how it works. So the higher voltage, that's why other countries other than North America use 220 volt. 220 volt handles these little tiny wires, and it's very efficient. And Americans and people over this side, and Canadians and whoever else is attached to us, we use 120. So we make this battery. We put BMSs in there. It went from 25 or 23 kilowatts down to 13 kilowatts of usable power. There's 15 in there. So we can't touch the top 90%. We can't touch the bottom 10%. Lithium, you got to use that 11% to 91% mark. You got to float in there. So I set the charge parameters up after we figured out the series of connection of batteries, which is an S14 per voltage of cell. I think the cell voltages are 4.2 or 4.3. And then it's just math. You just add them up. And he came out with like 57 point something with the battery pack. So we have our battery pack set to 56.6 volts, just to give us that headway. We want to charge up to there, have the charge controller stop. If you get up to 100% charge on a lithium battery system, 100%, and you don't stop that power from coming in, that's a ticking kaboom. And a lithium fire, nobody to this day and age knows how to put one out. What they do is they stand back and let it burn out. Kind of neat, right? So if that ever gets overcharged, you're going to see this flame rocket up behind me like the Space Challenger just took off from Cape Canaveral, and we just back up and get the hot dogs out and roast our hot dogs on that system. That's how that's going to work. Lead acid doesn't do that. It arcs. It arcs and it kills whoever's around there. So lead acid will arc and try to kill you in one quick go before the connection heats up and breaks. And lithium, if it catches on fire, just burns like the fireworks. It goes and goes.
Come on.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do lead? Lead is great to learn from, and lead, you can build up a big enough system. Yeah, you can have LED lights on. They don't draw any power. The lights hanging on the rafters up there, all LEDs. They're the ones that go outside. Each one draws 3 watts of power. So I got two of them wrapped up together. It's a ton of lights, right? And it's a soft yellow glow in here. It's nice. I got white, yellowy walls from the spray foam that's on there. And so 6 watts of power lights our whole entire house up. That 6 watts of power runs off a single little tiny lead battery. You do that all day and all night. So we want to run the refrigerator off this battery. And we want to run the microwave. We want to run the air fryer that's behind me and the coffee maker and all that stuff. And we can. Lithium gives us the flexibility to pull a C1, C2, or C3 charge. So it being a C3 charge, we can pull 300 amps off that. Am I that broken up?
No, that's coming from Des. We're getting an echo, Des. Yeah.
Can't hear you. He's broken up, huh? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was me. I was like,
No, when we were talking, it was all echoing back through Des's.
now, things you should know. The lower the voltage you go down, the thicker the wire is. So 12-volt systems need as thick as your thumb. They need like a 2 gauge. You're not getting away with a 10 gauge wire. You know, do I have it here? Yeah, this stuff, 10 gauge wire. Nice and thick wire. It's bigger than stereo speaker wire. And you can't put that across the battery. What'll happen with a 12-volt, you pull more than 20 amps across this wire, it's going to glow redder than what it is. You know, it becomes a resistor. These wires get hot and they melt, and yeah, you just have problems with the system. So when you're dealing with the low voltage, you need thick wires on the battery to the inverter. The solar charge controllers, most of them handle 10 gauge wire. So it's just the way it is because, you know, solar voltage out there is usually a lot higher than the battery system. So the higher the voltage, the smaller the wires can be. They typically use 10 gauge.
That's why I got this one out of the dryer. It's the plug for the dryer that goes.
Is there a lot of thick, heavy copper inside?
Oh, yeah.
It can't be a single strand.
No, it's
Is it
not.
multi-strand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I
travel-
got. Yeah, I got this to run from my battery to my inverter. That's why I got these ones.
Now, burping here, I got too much coffee in me. I'm trying to talk too fast, and I'm a very shy person, mind you. I don't come on lives that often. AC travels over a single core, typically single core in your house. In your house, you have a single strand of big, thick copper wire, one strand. DC does not like that. DC is a direct current. It sends all its little soldiers out. It wants to travel down what they call speaker wire stranding or multi-stranding. So you want to have in soft, nice and soft. You want soft. Doesn't have to be, but it's soft, pliable speaker wire, nice and thick. Is great for DC. You can use multi-stranded for DC, and I think that's going to be okay from your battery to your inverter. But I think your solar wire is going to want to have a better advantage of having a softer type copper multi-stranding. Now, you have to breaker on the positive. If it's, you have to have breakers everywhere, DC breakers everywhere. You can't use AC breakers. AC breakers belong in the mains panel, your mains panel inside your house that has alternating current. You have to have the giant 100 or 200 amp service, 150, whatever you're running. And then you got to have all your basic, not bigger than 20, your 20 or your 15 for all your appliances, one breaker per line per plug socket. What happens is, you know, if you have a 20 amp breaker in there, it's designed to handle roughly 1,500 watts. Your wires can handle that. Anything above and beyond that, you pop the breaker. It's just the way it works. So there's a problem. What if I wanted to have a water heater in the house, a 6,000 water heater element? You got to get a double pole breaker. Double pole breaker that has like 40 amp, and there's a bar. You'll see a bar across there. That bar, when one or two of those pop, it shuts the 110 leg off and the 110 leg off. That's 220 volt. It pulls both of those off. That's the way that works. 220 volt system. There is no neutral. There is no ground. If it's got metal on it, there's a ground. There is a ground that comes back to your system. So yeah, 220 volt, 2 hot wires. That's it, 120, 120. Because 220 volts are usually used in heating elements. And what heats up a heating element the best? When 2 hot wires come together at the middle, and that's the heating element itself. And that gets glowing hot red. So positive and positive. Wow, that's weird. It meets up and yeah, it heats up and it glows red, 220 volt. If you run that same heating element, yes, you can run 110 and then put a neutral back. You can do that. But if that 3,000 watt heating element is now 1,500 watts and it works half the efficiency, that's what's going to happen. So why isn't the shower so hot? Why isn't it heating up properly? I'm like, because you have a 220 volt water heating element and you're only running 120 volt into it at 40 amps instead of putting 80 amps into it from each side to heat it up. So it works at half the efficiency. You save on power and you take a nice warm shower and not a hot shower. Just some educational stuff. But you have to have breakers on the solar array. There has to be DC breakers out there on the solar array. On your hot wire going into your battery between your solar charge controller and your battery, on the hot wire, you have to have a giant fuse in there. The solar charger, and an even bigger fuse, a giant fuse going between the battery and the inverter. So the battery inverter, giant fuse. Battery to solar charge controller, a moderate size fuse.
No, the inverter that I got has a fuse built in.
Right, that's they're trying to protect that system PCB board. They're telling you that the 10 amp, 20 amp, 40 amp, 220s, 240 amp DC breakers that are in there, they're like, that's it. So when you see two 40 volt DC breakers, like car jumper breakers that are in there, those little car fuses, if they say 40 and 40 amp, and you have 2 outlets, pray to God that they wired it one leg going across the ferrite copper coated, the ferrite, they call those transformer, is 40 amp fuse to one of those plug sockets, so that the other leg coming down to provide the other 1,000, because it's 2,000 watt inverter, 1,000 on this leg, the other 1,000 is replicated. God help you ever got a 20 amp fuse, 2,000 watt inverter, with one single leg and 2 wall outlets, and you're trying to pull 2,000 watts out of a 2,000 watt inverter. 90% of the time, people buy what's called modified sine wave. It's a square wave. It's inefficient, doesn't work very well. It's not very good, built with cheap parts. And by cheap parts, they're using MOSFETs, they're using giant capacitors, and they're using these little tiny transformers to try to send out this modified sine wave to try to do the duty. And they lie. They always lie. So when I buy a cheap modified sine wave, I pick it up. If it weighs like a pound or two, I know it's cheap. It says 2,000 watts. I know I'm not pulling more than 500 or 600 from there. That's it. Can't run a coffee maker off them. If you ever do that, put them on batteries, you'll hear that. You'll hear that inverter go beep. It screams, and then they shut down. You just can't draw what they say. Why? Marketing. Why? Because people from overseas lie. Why? Because they want your money. Our inverter is an Ames inverters. It's 6,000 watts. That's 3,000 per leg, and that inverter, my inverter weighs 96 pounds. Can't convert that kilograms, but it weighs as much as I do when I was small. It weighs, it's like a 100-pound inverter. That's a real one. It's pure sine wave. I can plug phones in, I can plug computers in and TVs, and I can feel safe that they're not going to malfunction or melt and terminate early. Modified sine wave, I'd get one of those giant big inverters and try to run like a single 10 amp power tool through it, see if it works. It might be labeled 4,000 watts. I doubt it's going to run it. It can run a drill. That's all you're really going to want to do to it. So plug a coffee maker into those big cheap modified sine wave, and they're cheap. They're like under $100. See what you can run off that. You try to get by. You're going to get what you pay for. My inverter, brand new, cost me $1,900, and I made sure I got a good one. That's from Ames. My solar charge controller came from Outback. That's an 80 amp, made by Feng Shui, who's the original company. So it's mislabeled Feng Shui. If you buy from Feng Shui, you get wholesale for $400. If you buy from Outback, you pay $600, $700, $800 for the solar charge controller. My battery, brand new. I don't know what the cost of that is to replace that in a car, but I got that for $900 and refurbed it. and we turned it into 48 volt system. It was fun times, you know. My battery, the battery lithium we have in there, is designed to have a 40 amp BMS, battery management system, per cell. There's 6 cells in there. I got 6 DC 40 amp breakers in there. There's 6 of them. You're supposed to have 40 amp, 40 amp, 40 amp per cell. I put 100 amp in there because that's the protection of the system. So we overbuilt it. I said, Dave, where can I spend money? Where can I improve this? He's like, your breakers. I was like, no. I want my breakers to pop when my breakers need to pop. So we're going to put 40 amp breaker, 40 amp BMS. They match up great. I said, where can we fix this? He said, we put thicker wires on the inside. I said, nah, but now we're pushing more current handling capacity. I need protection. He goes, oh, your BMS, your battery management. I said, can I throw 100 amps per cell? And he's a YouTuber. He's like, oh, you want to overbuild this for my YouTube channel? We'll do that. So $100 times $600 per BMS, $600 worth of BMSs, 100 amp. We put these giant BMSs for each of the 6 cells. So it's well overbuilt, super protected. Anything goes wrong, that BMS will shut off. If that BMS does not shut off, those little 40 amp DC breakers will pop. If that doesn't, the AC on the AC side will pop. I got those 15, 20 amp. If that doesn't pop, my inverter itself, the big inverter, has pop fuses in there. Those will pop. I've got, and if I ever get hit by a lightning strike, the big DC breaker outside will melt. My 250 will just melt. And then hopefully it doesn't bypass the DC breakers on the solar panels. So I got breakers everywhere. That's how you properly do it. But you're not done. Your solar panels, if they've got metal framing, have to be grounded. Each one got to be bonded to each other, and then they got to go grounded down to the ground. You got to go 4 to 6, 8 feet down with a grounding rod. So you got to ground them. You come into the AC side, you got to run a grounding rod, 2 grounding rods, 6 to 8 feet down, maybe 10 feet if you can pound it in. You got to run that for your AC side. You got to ground that outside. Anything that metal that it touches, well, we got a metal case. The metal case from the battery that protects it, it's got to be grounded. You don't want to touch stuff when you have AC and DC close to each other, It's dangerous. I'm going to stop talking. It was boring. Hope you learned something. I don't know. It's a lot of information to learn. It took 10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
I would say you put a lot of effort into it for sure.
I learned Ohm's law. Yeah, I learned DC voltage. How does that work? How does AC voltage work? I learned what an electrician learned, but took 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. With this stuff that I got here, I know it's very small time when you're looking at stuff for solar panels and everything. I know
the same, though.
it has all the same principles, and that's
You've
why
got DC and AC going on.
And I'm trying to learn what I can do with what I have. Versus, like, if I got one battery, can I run X number of lights, or can I run?
You can run LED lights and you can charge your phone. Yeah, you have a little tiny little battery. Yeah, you could do that. Let me see.
And then I'd be keeping systems separate because of the fact I know that if you run too many batteries together, it's still electricity. It's still gonna kick your butt.
Little 7 amp hour Duracell battery that goes in the kids' cars. That's gonna charge your phone and keep all my lights on. But that's all I'm doing with it. And what am I gonna stick on here? I'm gonna stick 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 100 watts at the most on a PWM, pulse width modulation, cheapo solar charge controller.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to be able to push a max of 7 amps in 1 hour. It's a 7 amp hour battery. It takes 1 hour to charge at 7 amps. So if my solar panel says it'll have the amps on the back of the solar panel or on the package you bought it with. If you don't have that, you can look it up on Amazon or on Google.
This one is 60 amp.
12 divided into 60. There you go. That's your amps. STC, standard test conditions. Is it on the back? There's a little plate on there. Little plate on the back that has a reading. Tells you how many amps. Not VOC. IMP. See, IMP.
No, it's not. It's just blank.
Anyways, you take 60. You take 60 watts and you divide it by 12 volts. That's your amps on that solar. That's it. That's all I got to do. So if it's 4.5 or whatever, 4.5 amps, you need a 5 amp DC breaker. If you're only going to have that one solar panel, if you're going to add a second one, 4.5.9, you'd get a 10 amp DC breaker. You want to go at least an amp above it. Just give us some flexibility. Then there's slow burn fuses and there's fast burn fuses. Whoa. And then there's breakers, which when you mess up the power and do a bad grounding or you get backfeed, those are supposed to pop. So there's all different types of breakers out there.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about sticking some because I've got where are they two? I got the sockets for you can put the fuses in like where your wires connects. Have two of these
Snap 'em in.
sockets and put the fuse in.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking about with some of my software groundings and stuff like that.
Yeah, make sure you make most of the time, not always. Oh, not always. Most of the times you can fuse the red wire, the positive, the
Yeah.
L live wire.
Mhm.
You want to put it in there. That's where the juicy juice.
Oh
is
yeah,
going
no,
to.
this is just one of many. This is on here. I'm gonna take it and change it to the red side. It's only on the black one just because I was playing around with stuff.
Now I'm mad at electricians because maybe there's a lie going on. Who knows the truth of how energy flows? Energy doesn't flow. Energy oscillates around the wires and shakes, and then slowly pushes. If it's DC, it slowly goes through the wires. DC current travels very slow. AC vibrates back and forth. That's why you die. It's just, you get hit from all angles. DC is
Yeah,
like
I thought AC was more like a pulse. Boop, 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 boop.
yeah, AC is just kind of vibrating.
Yeah.
The power in AC doesn't go through the copper. It travels in a magnetic field around the wire. That AC likes that. You know what I mean? So that's why they say don't live underneath those power poles. You ever see land for sale? They got the power lines going across. Nobody buys that stuff.
Radiation from the wires.
Yeah, you live under that. You start doing this every day, shaking. You're like, I can't sleep. I don't know what's wrong with me. The Martians are trying to get me. I keep hearing voices. Yeah, your body runs on electricity. The average human body, not this one, but yours runs off 125 watts every day. I'm probably burning about 135 watts because I'm running my mouth. Yeah, you produce 135 watts of power, the human body. Who knew that? Could you stick an anode and electrode in each ear and possibly tap your body as a battery? Huh? Is that possible? Someone's got to figure that out.
Hey, isn't that what the Matrix did?
Okay. The Matrix is a computer sim. It's about AI learning. It's about AI learning how to be, how software becomes alive and becomes has not a soul but has a consciousness. And what happens is it figured out a way. Yeah, you're right. It figured out a way how to run the system. And that's taking the blue or the red pill, whether you stay inside the Matrix, the imaginary world, which everybody thinks is the real world, or you wake up in that post-apocalyptic nightmare where you're sitting in a slew of electrolyte that feeds your body, right? Because like you're basically a battery and you're wired in, and you're the computer component, your brain, and it sucks the power out of your body. You produce magnetism, electric power. Yeah, you're right. Matrix is basically that. That's funny.
Yeah, because I remember that when they were on that, they were saying they built the AI to run off solar power.
Oh, I don't have comments on. I got private chat on comments. Oh, hi Joe. I see Nightbot growing on it.
Okay, Billy, you're fascinating. You're
Yeah, he is.
I'm a mess. Don't
No, you're
subscribe to me.
fascinating.
I'm not paying your therapy
No.
bills.
No, this is
This is fascinating to me because I understand what you're talking about because
Yep.
I'm into
You get it.
electronics and I
Electronics.
absolutely love it.
Love electronics.
Yeah.
Starting out with
Oh,
solar is like going to elementary school. Starting out with solar is like going to elementary school. You got to go all the way up to the grade 12 if that's where your high school is. You got to graduate. Graduation is me, DIY. I am confident I can come to your house, look at any AC or DC application you have. I can look at your breakers. I can look at your wire sizing, and I can see the way you wired in your 110, your 120, or your DC DC to DC connections. And I can look at the time of day. I can look at the temperature. All these things factor in. Oh, here's something you didn't know about solar panels. When it's cold out, the voltage in solar panels skyrocket. So let's say in STC, standard test conditions, that the solar panel only can produce 100 volts. No, we're not talking amps. How many amps go through? Volts don't power anything. Volts is the highway. Amps are the cars and the power driving through. Amps are what charge. Volt does nothing. It provides the lane. And the bigger the lane, the easier for more traffic to flow. The more efficient traffic is, the more efficient electricity is. Like they explain water. You know, the bigger the channel of water, the more boats can go through, the more water can flow. That's how they try to describe electricity, Ohm's law to people. I got it confused. You know, it's beginning just learning stuff. But so you'll see a solar charge controller. Let's go with a 12-volt system just to make it simple because everyone uses them when they first start out. Lead acid battery, right? Right. When it's sitting here, and you put a when you put a voltmeter on, this reads 12.5 volts. That's sitting, no charge, has charge or discharge. And then when you charge it up, it reads 12.9. But what happens when you walk away for 3 or 4 days? It goes back down to 12.5. It just sits at a nominal voltage. But the charging current going in there is like 13 or 14 volt. You really got to have a high voltage lane to fit a lot of amps in to push the power into these lead batteries, that push it into the lead, you know? But now that's an average scenario. Now in the winter, your solar panels that were producing 14 volts are producing 15 volts. Well, the voltage went up, which means you got more amps coming in. But you have shorter light hours, so it kind of balances itself out. Winter isn't always a bad thing. Now, let's say it's summertime and that solar panel is cooking hot, like red hot. Touch it, you like almost burn your skin on the aluminum. You know, you touch the top of the solar panel, almost can't put your hand on it. It's hot, hot, hot. That 100-volt solar panel is reading 88 volts. 12% sag. Yeah, it came all the way down. Isn't that crazy? So in the heat, solar panels are very inefficient. And when they're ice cold, they're very efficient. They're high voltage. What's the good and bad thing about that? Well, what kind of charge controller do you have? PWM, traditional old pulse width modulation. PWM, most devices charged by PWM. Lithium phones, they've got little PWM charge controllers in them. They pulse electricity. That's why you see them, and they're always like 1 or 2 amp phone chargers at 5 volts. They're like boop, boop, boop. Every cycle they put a little bit of power and slowly. And you know, now modern days they're trying to increase it all, try to get you 40 watts, and they're trying to push like 10 amps into these things. I don't want to do that to my lithium battery. I want to use it all day nice and gently, and then I want to sleep and slowly charge it up till it's full. And hopefully there's enough protection in there where it will auto disconnect and not cook my battery chemistry where it, underneath your pillow while you sleep on it catches on fire. I'm sure you've all seen those memes on TikTok and YouTube of phones catching on fire. They change the chemistry. It's a different type of lithium type chemistry in these phones. I forget what it is, but yeah. But there you go. Temperature affects your system. Oh, let's go with another thing. Room temperature. This battery, brand new, has 100% state of charge. SOC, 100% state. You can use all the power in here. Great, wonderful. When the battery gets hot, there's some degradation, because, like we said, when electricity gets hot, voltages change, but your battery can get dangerously hot. You can't use as much power out of it. But even worst case scenario is you could start getting down to freezing temperatures. You know, 30. Oh man, you guys use Celsius. 0, right? 0 is freezing.
32.
32 in down here, it's 32, but 0 in other places.
Yeah.
In the winter, your battery has like 50% or 60% capacity. You know, you can only use a little piece of it. You can't use that whole thing in the winter. The other factor is this, you didn't know. When batteries, whether they're lithium or whether they're lead, and they start getting ice cold, you can't charge them the way you used to. You can't push 20 amps into this. You got to have a high voltage but lower amps going in. The charge controls, that's where PWM could pulse width modulation, you know, slowly zapping the battery with power, putting X amount of amps in, and it's trying to warm the battery up. And as the battery warms up, maybe you got a good charge controller. It's set for winter mode, and it has a temperature sensor that says, oh, you know, it reads the voltage and it reads the temperature, and it says, oh, I can start bringing up the power, start putting more amps into a lead battery or a lithium battery. A lead battery is going to work better in cold than a lithium battery unheated. Lithium batteries, if you get them so cold you freeze them, and you try to charge them, say goodbye to your system. Your system's going to shut. Every breaker's going to blow in the house, and the battery might just, the terminals will fry. You can't charge a lithium battery when it's frozen. Don't do it. So basically what I'm trying to say is try to keep your batteries like a child. Try to give them some love and give them a little bit of heat. Don't keep them outside sitting in the snow. It's not going to work.
No, I got the spot I got picked out for my batteries is in the house underneath one of my closets.
Yeah, you can bring that battery in your house, in your basement, and sit it on the floor. It's 58 degrees pretty much year round. Summer, winter, it's 58 degrees. As long as that battery's sitting on that floor, for the not the walls. You don't want to push a battery up against the wall. As long as it's sitting on the floor, on a rug, it will pull heat out of an ice cold floor. Hi, Tiff.
This is so cool.
Ooh. How is everybody?
Good. How are you?
Cool. Well,
Good.
Billy, that is fascinating, and I wished I really understood it all. I mean, kind of some of the analogies you used, I do get.
Well, there was a reason why I hopped up. We're going to take you downstairs and we're going to show you our setup.
Yay!
Oh,
But
cool.
D, you don't have to learn it all. Solar's not about learning it all today in 5 minutes. Solar's
Oh, I
about
know.
listening to a nut job like me and picking out pieces. You're like, oh yeah, solar panels. That's right. They produce more voltage in winter. I remember that. Oh, I remember batteries don't like to charge when they're ice cold outside and frozen. Oh yeah, that's right. Why do you think when you start your car in the winter, it doesn't turn over? It's just a power loss. You don't get as many amps.
Sorry, guys, hang on a second. I got to flip myself around here. Hang on.
Yeah.
Camera's not working. There we go.
Talk of therapy. You got to hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, sometimes. Back, there it is. There we go. Okay,
You
hang
have
on.
a
Chris is going to take over.
No, midnight.
Yeah.
Actually,
Is it midnight
unfortunately, the kid, but it's actually dying. We're probably going to replace it next year.
Okay,
The
how many
load-
years have you had that?
Like 8 years.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a good point they made. If your MPPT charge controller, your maximum power point, has lasted 8 years, you got your money's worth. The electronics. God bless the
Yeah.
electronics that are within there. The electronics have been heated and cooled and baked and ran electricity and degraded. Yeah, you got 8 years. Time for a new charge controller.
We're looking into Victron next.
Oh, you're cheating. Get a Victron Smart. That way you can look at it on your phone. Don't get
Yeah, the
Don't do
The
that.
one I'm looking at is the 100 volt 30 amp, and it has Bluetooth.
It has Bluetooth and wonderful,
Yeah.
right? Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and as you were talking about breakers, there's ours.
There's your that's DC breaker box by me. I don't have
Yeah.
this. How do you have them mounted on the outside? Mine are on the inside.
Huh?
You cut
What do
that
you mean on
yourself?
This is a midnight one.
Did it come like? No, I got the same thing. Did that come like
Oh.
that?
Yeah, I had to pop out this thing so that way these could stick out.
Look at you being fancy. Look at that.
Yeah. So this one here is the panels. This one's the battery. This one was the
Oh, you
load.
got the battery. Smart.
And this 63 amp is a 300 watt inverter right here.
Protecting that. Oh, you got
Yeah.
one of those. Pure science.
Yes.
Nice.
I love this one. It's only 300 watts, but it's awesome.
Right. It runs anything 300 watts and under, 12 volt.
Yeah.
We have 1,000 watt beside it too. It's a Canadian Tire. It still costs $300 for this thing.
When you listen,
It's
when
a
you
good
lift
one.
that, when you lift that one up, when you pick up that
Oh,
that
yeah.
inverter, is it heavy?
Yes, it is.
Then it has real components. You can feel safe. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good components.
Same with this 300. It's actually got a lot of weight in it.
It does.
Yeah, 'cause
And it,
Oh, sorry. You said? Sorry.
oh, so when it has a lot of weight, there's big iron transformers in there. You're getting your money's worth.
yeah.
Definitely.
And then say we got the master kill switch right here.
You got
And
your
then
negative
as you can see, I divided the positive and negative.
bus bars, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got the shunt over here. Which
For
I'll
metering,
bring-
reading your meters. Yep, that helps
Okay.
you read your meters.
Yeah,
hang on
I'm
a
bringing
second.
it around so you can see. Oh, shoot. A wire's a little sensitive.
Yeah.
But see, right now we're at 32 volts and we got no power coming in because we're storming today.
Yeah, but that's a healthy battery, 13.2 volts. That's a nice healthy battery.
Yeah, that's these down here.
Gotta go.
There's that each one of these is only a 30 amp hour.
Gel
So
or
we got-
SLA? SLA?
What do you mean that's LA? I'm trying to think.
Steel lead acid. There's no breathing
Oh.
ports on it.
No, these are lithium.
Oh, you got lithium cells. Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, and I wired them together, so it's a 12-volt system, but we got 60 amp hours out of these two.
Right, so it's 30 plus 30 is 60. Yeah, they add up.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I got the smart charger here for when the weather's not so good.
Yeah, how many amps is the smart charger? What was that going to do for you? How many amps?
This one's only a 3, but I've got a new
Nice.
20 amp.
So you can slow charge or you can fast charge.
But yeah, so there's most of it. And then, of course, this is no good now for lithium, but this really helped us when we were doing lead acid.
Lead acid. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it-
our distribution
okay.
panel.
Yep. So we got our alarm.
I'm gonna explain what that midnight does up above that reader.
Yeah.
What happens is as your battery voltage drops, those LEDs change lower and lower and lower. But what people should know is lithium does not change voltage as much at all.
No.
Until it hits
No.
the knee, the 20%, 10% drop, then you have no power. So it goes from a 14.2 volt system down to a 0.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That does not work on lithium. Lithium is a
No.
constant voltage.
Yeah, we got that one for these batteries down here, which are now dead.
Your Trojans, are these your T
Yeah.
somethings?
These are
T105s?
the L16E AC.
T2s.
Yeah, T2s. There it is.
So
Yeah,
yeah, they
and
don't
how
work
much-
anymore.
How much maintenance? Are they 6 volt a piece?
Yes. We had to put water in about every 6 months.
Yeah, sounds
Did you
about right.
use- What type of water? You didn't put well water in there from the well.
Oh, no, 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 no. Distilled
Okay.
water. Yeah.
Distilled, we did
All right.
distilled, yeah.
Just checking with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, but those ran the whole time that we've had this midnight charger.
Absolutely.
Those batteries
Beautiful.
have been well used. They're actually the terminals have bowed up. You can't see it on camera, but
No,
whoa,
I
yes,
know.
you can. You
Yeah,
can
they
see
push
it's
out the
bowed up.
plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's filled
Yeah.
up a little bit there. So
That's why we I
They
saw that. I'm
sulfated.
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
saw it.
sulfated
Shut
those,
them down.
But yeah, that's our system.
Hey, you show them the panels outside.
Oh yes. Okay, we'll go to the. Ignore the mess, everybody. We're going upstairs. We're down in the basement.
I just like that I can talk shop with somebody. I don't feel stupid. I'm like,
Okay, hang on a second.
It's a little rainy out there.
I was gonna say it's a little rainy, a little windy, so if you can't, hopefully you can hear us. And
I go
okay,
out with
we've
my
got
bear
that.
filter. Be a
Okay,
babe.
Rain,
Go on out there. See what you got.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There we go.
Your little solar panel. Can you adjust that, or is that fixed?
That's fixed.
It's fixed, but I have
Aw.
Yeah, we have to adjust the angle a little.
I mean, that's a winter. That's for winter, that 45. In the
Yep.
summertime, you gotta lay those puppies down. Just put them on the roof.
we started with that black one.
Yeah, that's
why it's different.
the black one is our oldest panel.
They're all
yeah,
the same.
you got 3 polys and a 1 monocrystalline. Nice.
And
Yeah.
yet they're all the exact same model number and everything. It's just
Really?
changed from one year to the other.
Okay, let's go inside.
You know why? Because someone bought the company and somebody cheaped out or changed the prices or improved. It went one way or
Where's
the
that thing?
other. Monocrystalline works without shading, and polycrystalline works with some shading, sort of. No panel like shading. But you put shading. You shade out one of those panels on that bottom one, that monocrystalline. You shade out one of those little blocks. That panel's dead. You broke the connection.
Yeah. Oh,
What
Al, I'm
happened-
sending this weather to you.
what'll happen-
No, I don't want it. It's
I don't
supposed,
want it either.
it's
The
supposed
ones
to be
that polycrystalline,
freeze
partially
tomorrow.
shade them, they make less power.
Yeah.
Those panels are also wired in series parallel.
Series parallel. So 2 and 2?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that way we have 40 volts coming in.
Right. You double the amps up on 2 and 2, and you try to keep the voltage fairly the same for the system by bringing it in.
Yeah.
And the MPPT sees the high voltage, the 28 volts coming in, it brings it all the way down to 14 something, 13, whatever you got it set for lithium. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you have an MPPT charge controller, solar people know that when you have a high voltage and it gets brought down, well, what happens? Voltage comes down. Where do the amps go? Up. Bring the voltage down, amp goes up on MPPT, you supercharge it. You can have a
Yep.
smaller system.
Whew.
Yeah.
So
I always wondered about when they're snow covered. You know, does that hurt them? Do you need
Well,
to go out there?
they're not amorphous, which would work underneath the snow. It degrades power production by, you'll still have a high voltage. You're like, oh, look, we're still getting the voltage, but the amps are real tiny. You know, you only
Yeah.
trickle charge. And yeah, you snow cover them, you'll get it's you start trickle charging. The volts look great. Oh, the volts are wonderful, but there's no power coming in. You're not charging your batteries.
I always know when I have to go out there and clean them off with the big snow brush because well, I'll look at the thing. I'm like, we're snow covered. Gotta go out there and clean them off.
That's what I wondered about.
Yeah.
That happens
Now-
when you've got like a solar, not a solar panel, but a dish. When we had dish, not
Parabolic,
dish network, but
parabolic
we
dish
had.
for
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for your TV, we had direct
Satellite
goes
dish,
out,
yeah.
right?
and the snow would cover that satellite. We'd have to go out there and wipe it off and
You get a good signal.
the satellites and stuff.
Same comparison. You want a good signal path. You want a good wave path going out and back for the satellites. You want those photons from the sun directly hitting the panel. Here's another thing about solar. I know you guys know, but for those that don't know about solar, here's your solar panel. It's angled. This is the sun. The way to get max power is angling. So summertime, sun's coming across up here. Panels are flat. It's hitting direct, right? Lots of voltage, tons of amps. Wintertime, sun's down here. Solar panels are flat. What's happened with the photons? It's like skipping a rock across water. You know, you skip it. You don't angle your pan. You're skipping. Power's gone. Power's going over your panels. Your voltage looks good, but you got no amps coming in. So what do you do in winter? The sun's down here. You angle it. Now they're meeting each other directly on. You know, so the sun's low in the sky. The panel's going to be angled. And what people will do is they'll take a pencil and they'll stick it directly perpendicular to their solar panels, and they'll see if there's a line coming down. You know, they'll adjust their panels till all you can see is no shadowing around that pencil.
Yeah, that's
You know,
not
and
actually a bad
perfect
idea.
angle. Perfect angle for 1
smart.
o'clock.
I was just gonna say, never thought of that before,
No,
but
that's a good little trick. I'm gonna have to do that.
yeah. Thanks for the trip.
They sell them on Amazon. They sell solar panel anglers. They've all it is a disc with a clip, and it has a black dot. So if that black dot isn't straight underneath, and you see the black dot creating a line, you know you got to lift your panels up. So you're looking at the black dot, and once the black dots kind of follow underneath each other, stop, lock, and load. Done.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to
Those
change your
panels.
panels a minimum of twice a year. You have to change them to summer setting, and you definitely have to change them for fall, winter, spring setting. Fall, winter, spring kind of fall in the same category, 45-degree angle, and then summer you want to have them kind of flat, depending on where you are in the equator, north, south pole. How you get?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are not adjusted for winter yet. I probably should get out there and do it.
Yeah.
But everybody that DIYs it is always confused. Like, how do I build my amount rack so that I can, angle it? You know? And there are ways of there's ways of doing that with fence posting. You know the fence post, those metal you put chain link fence on? Well, what we did is we got 8 footers. We sunk 3 feet in the ground. We put concrete around them, and so the concrete into the ground. We got 6 feet coming up above. We put a brace across there. Like we cut it 10 feet so we could fit 9 feet of panels, 3 panels. Cut it accordingly. You only got 2 panels. Cut it 6 feet. And fit 2 panels on there, right?
I got a question for you.
And then what we did is we put a kick stick. We put a kick stick underneath the panel.
Oh, there you go.
That way it's on a door hinge or a shed hinge. Hinges for your doors. Screwed into the panel, screwed into the board. That way we could flex the boards and the kick stick so we could angle them.
That's what we did.
Exactly what I did. I used door hinges and everything.
We did the same thing. Yep. Actually, he brought out the first panel we ever got here.
This is the first one.
This is the first panel we ever had.
It's a 40 watt.
Yeah,
This-
Al, yours is 60 and it's same size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is 60 and
This panel is like 10 years old now, but it still works.
Oh no, his is
Doesn't matter.
smaller.
Oh,
It's got 88% of its capacity after 10 years. You just not, you lost that 12% due to degradation
Yeah.
on the panel. Big deal.
That's
It'll work.
good. Ours is so much smaller.
I'm thinking about using this for like a portable cell phone charging system or something like that.
Keep it in
Yeah,
your
I
truck.
got one of those for my backpack.
Yeah.
I just clips it on my backpack. It's a smaller one. And
Yeah.
one of
All
my
those panels, you keep them clipped to your car in the winter. They just keep your battery alive.
Yeah.
Just on the windshield.
Yeah, go put it back.
Oh, the big,
That's the one we started with.
one of the biggest problems I perceive me having now is in wintertime, like right now. We got about maybe 7 hours of daylight, 7 to 8 hours of daylight. But where I am, I actually will only get, like today, it was bright and sunny all day long. I only got maybe 2 or 3 hours of sunlight on my house because of where I'm geographically located.
So far
That's
north, yeah.
a big draw on wintertime with my panels. Even though it's probably better for the panels because they're cold.
And you get longer day hours, don't you? It's
Yeah.
brighter longer.
So I mean, like the only way for me to do that is either build a post that goes really far up or move a mountain. So
If you got a small system, 12-volt system, and you don't really care about price, you can get some cheap little 10 amp charge controllers, right? They're like $10 a piece, $5 a piece. Doesn't matter. They're all 10 amp. I don't care if they say you go on Amazon and you type in MPPT charge controller, and they all PWM. They all come up MPPT, right? China, they lie. Liars. They're all 10 amp. They say, 20, 40, 60, 100 amp. I ordered for $10. I ordered a 100 amp charge controller. My phone was heavier than the charge controller. Piece of plastic, has 2 little 5 amp MOSFETs in there. 5 amp plus 5 amp, 10 amp. Okay, it can't handle more than 10. Look at the little there was no toroidal transformer, little ferrite iron core with copper wrapped around it. Yeah, no MPPT. There's no MPPT, maximum power point tracking. This is a PWM, pulse width modulation. It's a PWM. It's $10, whatever. All I'm saying is if you got 3 panels, what you can do, if you got a small system, is you can aim them in different directions. You can aim one towards where the sun comes up in the morning. You put one of those little $10 charge controllers on it. It'll handle that one all by itself into your battery. You got one in the middle, solar panel with a little charge controller. That handles all your 9 o'clock to your 2 o'clock. And you got one heading west. It's a cheap system, but you have automation. You're pulling as much power here, here, and here. And you're not putting too much power into the system because only 2 of them are active at a time.
yeah.
Ways of doing it.
Danny
That's
Days
a little
Ahead
trick.
just came in.
Hey, Danny. Lots of little tricks into figuring it out.
We have 4,800 watts of PV array power. 4,800 watts. That's well over 80 amps. I have an 80 amp charge controller. So how can I have that much power? I've got 3 panels in the front of the house facing east. I've got 3 panels in the back of the house facing west. And I have 3 rows of my main photovoltaic array set up going east to west from 11 o'clock till about 3 o'clock that get most of the power. So I'm pulling in power early in the morning when the other panels aren't getting it. I'm getting all my power during the day from the main set of arrays. The east one isn't working anymore. It's sitting in shade. And then the ones facing west don't get any because the sun isn't on them. It'll get voltage, but again, it doesn't charge. So the amps aren't going up. And when the sun sets, all that photovoltaic power coming in hits those 3 panels. I'm still pulling in 150, 180 watts of power slowly until the sun goes away. Yeah, you just got to set it up.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking too. I'm gonna start. I'll probably start a little video series on it. All the different things that I'm doing with it.
Yeah, you don't have to be a professional. You tell your experience.
No, I am furthest thing you could get from a professional like this. I know nothing about it, and I just started looking up a few things, a few YouTube videos, and watching other people doing stuff, and watching your stuff, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll start a little solar panel project.
Okay.
And see
How
what
did
I can do with it.
How did you learn how to drive a bicycle or a car? You had training wheels, right?
Yeah.
Training wheels on a little panel, a little battery, little charge controller. There's your training wheels. Well, there's going to come a point where the aha moment comes off. You
Yeah.
know, if you know how to bake bread and put yeast and warm up the slurry and get that mixed in with the flour, and then like, oh, I can only bake it at X amount of time, 20 minutes at 375 degrees. You're a chemist right there. Don't tell me you, the chemist, can't figure out another chemistry type, a voltage in a battery with an amp hour as amp hour, 20 amp hour, only 20 amps in 1 hour. If I hook in a device that pulls 10 amps in 1 hour, I can use it for 2 hours, 10 amps per hour, 10 amp hour, 20 amp hour battery, 10 amps coming out. It's just math.
Yeah.
You just got to be able to add and subtract numbers like, 2 plus 2 and 2 minus 2.
Oh, really? I guess I could throw this all away now. No, but yeah, I'll figure things out as I'm going.
This has been very interesting.
Terrifying. Who are you kidding?
Learning about it, trying to terrify.
Well,
learning about it.
That's the one I got. It's the bigger. It's frick.
Is it a lead battery?
Yeah, lead acid battery.
Keep it indoors for the most part.
Oh God, yes, yeah. That's why I said like I knew, yeah. If I put this outside, it's just going to be useless in the winter time.
Yeah, don't even do so. You're going to keep your batteries in the frost. They're going. You can't charge them. You can put them in a cold basement. It's fine. Don't put them outside.
Out under that closet where I got set up for it.
Once you have vast amounts of lead acid batteries, and you're charging at a lot of power, you got to consider electrolysis. You got to consider hydrogen coming out of them. And if you're a smoker, yeah, it's going to look like, I don't know what I can say on here.
The Hindenburg.
Yeah, hydrogen build up in the house.
Yeah, no, it's next. The place where it's to is right next to a door, so there's a bit of draft comes through there. So
you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
As
long as you're not smoking over the vent holes,
No.
Light your fire for your wood stove over the vent holes. You ever get a stove?
That's where I'm gonna set up my little propane stove to when I goes cooking again. Next to the battery.
This guy here builds electrolytic capacitors. No, not I'm sorry. This guy here builds hydroelectrolytic capacitors. What is that? Water batteries. Produce hydrogen. I've taken soap bubbles and put the hydrogen, little tiny bubble, took a lighter. It sounded like an M80 going off, shook the house. Boom! I was like, oh, that's a lot of power out of a little bubble, little tiny bubble. Yeah, dangerous stuff. Hydrogen.
Yep.
No joke. So imagine a large amount of gas going off. Huh? It's like being flash fried and blow your eardrums out.
That'd be a good. That could be interesting. Yeah.
That would go viral, but you wouldn't be around to.
I wouldn't be around to appreciate it. But I had a problem with one of my fridges, a refrigerator in my house, and repair guy come in and he said, "You will not get anyone in Newfoundland to look at your fridge." I was like, "Why?" He said, "It's isobutane." Okay, why is isobutane in my fridge? He said, "Well, if we try working on it and we make one wrong spark, your house is going to be on the other side of the harbor."
The same stuff that's in a lighter.
Yeah.
It's flammable. How are you going to cut that without making a spark?
That's what he said. He said, "There's nobody going to work on your fridge whatsoever."
Yeah, you need 143R, 143A. 143A. Refrigerator compressor oil gas. 143A. I forget what it's called. I know the numbers. Refrigerant. That's all it is. 143A refrigerant. And I don't know if it has dye in it.
Freon.
Freon. There you go. Thank you for simplifying.
Freon, yes.
Freon.
That's what I was
thinking.
Can I
fix them? I can fix
Can't believe
them.
out everything you've been talking about, I knew Freon.
I just
look at me. I'm learning. I forget. There's so much knowledge. I know a little bit about everything in the world. So, Billy's smart. I'm as dumb as a rock. I just know enough to get into the conversation. Some things I'm better on. Solar, off-grid life, yeah, I do that. Been doing it for 13 years. So I'm more comfortable. garden talk. I've been hanging out with gardeners for 13 years, eating, breathing, putting calcium to get rid of your blossom end rot. I've heard that a billion times, you know? You learn things. And I always did great in science. Terrible in math. Great in science. I got A pluses. So I wanted to know the biology of things. I was a boy. I wanted to know how biology works. It's like, oh, how do worms reproduce? And maybe I can relay that on to people. I'm going to learn something at 10.
Yeah, Terry, he can understand all this perfectly, I'm sure. And a lot of it, you know, some of it I understand very little, but probably if I spent 10 years like you did, you know, like I spent, you know, 43 years doing what I've done, you know.
What do you do for work?
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
Just punch numbers in, data entry.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'd have to be there for a month or two just to get the basics of what you're doing. And then you have a whole filing system. You have a whole Rolodex of listing and people and company and everybody that goes into it. It's a mess. Yeah. And you must do pay. Is there any pay involved? Do crunching the numbers and stuff?
Not for me, but yeah, I mean,
It's
I
all
don't do payroll, but yeah,
payroll.
I understand
That's
what you're
PA.
saying, but
Yeah, you might think your job's easy because you've been doing it for 43 years. You stick like someone like me in there, I'm running. I'm like, this is overwhelming. I don't know how she does it, but it's too much for me to learn. I couldn't do it.
I find what you've been saying is fascinating. And, you know, earlier I said I could have somebody that my daughter works for come. I think I'd rather have somebody like you come on to my channel and, you know, help somebody to get started, you know, just help them to understand what they need to do to get started. And me, myself, you know what I'm saying?
My demeanor will change if I talk to someone one-on-one. It'll be like, okay, listen, solar is easy. Always tell yourself it's easy. You've got a 12-volt system. I was like, just get a little piece of paper. Let's write down the number 12.5, 12.9, 11 volts, and 14.5. We're going to go off of that. There's your high and lows. When you start hitting those low numbers, your battery system's going to shut down.
Oh
when you're in the middle, your battery's happy. When you're in the high, you know you're charging.
I want you to see this. Can y'all see this? Can y'all see that?
Oh, look at the rain.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That looks like here right now.
It started pouring the snow.
Oh, is that snow?
Pouring the snow. Yeah.
Oh, that's snow. Oh my goodness.
See how cloudy it is? See the haze?
Snow.
You got snow
Oh,
up
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's snow.
That's snow.
Listen, it is. Yeah, I'll stay in Tennessee. No, thank you. I'm fine.
Folks,
I
I'm here
wish
to
I
tell
was.
you,
She's
just a few minutes ago,
in
it wasn't
Kentucky.
doing
It's snowing in
anything.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna say, Dee, send the snow to me, and I'll send you the rain. I don't want the rain anymore.
I don't want none of it. I'm good right now. It's nice out. Y'all keep
Blowing.
it that way.
No. See, I'm gonna share it, Al. I'm gonna blow it your way. I'm gonna send it your way.
Not
Yeah,
gonna work.
Tell you. See, probably an hour ago. I mean, there's nothing.
All you can breathe lithium battery I can find.
And it's blowing hard. I'm sorry, you all. I digress.
Tiffany, show your hubby this. This is from
Okay.
Harbor Freight. It's a Harbor
Can
Freight.
you believe that?
Oh, okay. Oh,
It was the original 45-watt Harbor Freight solar charge controllers.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Guess how
Boy,
much?
does it change.
There's a 5-amp fuse in there, and this is the box you buy for $100. You get 4 solar panels, and you can plug in all your little 12-volt, 9-volt, and 3-volt, 6-volt devices.
Oh, yeah.
You got an inverter that will produce wattage, and you got a one for lights, a 12-volt for lights, which doesn't have the MOSFETs and all that behind there, but produce a little bit of ampage. And then you got the little cheap meter on there, and this cute little LED that tells you you're charging, and we're hoping that's a 5-volt. But look at the rust. Can you see the rust on that?
Oh,
yeah.
That's been out in my greenhouse. I learned on this system. I've had this thing opened up and I won't get rid of it. She threw it out in the trash. What are you doing? You know solar. What if I get stupid? I gotta learn again. This is
I learned
this
long
is
ago
like-
not to throw anything out with the solar. When it comes to the solar, don't throw anything out. He knows what he wants and he knows what he's using it for. So
this. Listen, for those that like Star Wars, this is my Han Solo toy in carbonite in a package. If that hits home with some people. All right, that's what this is. It's my keeper. So
Oh boy. Well, this certainly took off.
then you start to be a nerd. When you do solar for a long time, you start getting these MC4 connectors. You can make your own cables. Because why are you spending $20 for 3 feet with a female and male connector when I can build it for $1, same length? You know?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look into those. I haven't used any connections like that.
Oh,
They're
I know
white.
who
They're,
you are. I know who you are. You're this guy. Yeah,
That's what I was using today.
yeah.
it's okay.
what I-
Look,
Well, how I wired them up outside, which you didn't show, is an octagon waterproof box, and I just wired them up like regular household wiring. Barrettes and everything. I'm planning on making a new connection type. With the 3D
And then-
printer, I was going to make a box.
you're sick of breaking your hands, so you upgrade to this bad boy, right?
Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Wait, there's more. I'll be right back. Make you laugh even harder.
oh, okay, we're gonna.
Oh.
Oh my. Yep, this
This
uh,
just
Blown away.
nice little
how
turn.
this just took off.
I was just gonna say I was in town and I come home and we get everything in the house and next thing I know he's telling me that you're live talking about solar. I'm like, well, that must be fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's all a learning curve for me because I'm just starting. This is like
Yep.
cheapest of the cheap outs that you can get for stuff.
That's exactly how I started. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna try like some little lights here. I got the inverter, so I'm gonna try running like my laptop net and do my lives and stuff by using solar power and just up it from there and see what else can I add. Right?
That's exactly why I got started 10 years ago too. Is
Yeah.
first the 40 watt, I just wanted to see if it would work, and then it did. So I just kept growing.
Yeah. So, like I said, I paid I think it was $75 for the controller and the panel with some cables. I don't think the panel is really going to be 60 amps. I'm not naive on that. I really think if I get 30 out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's just because
All right.
it's cheap.
The beginner stage, right? We got this. The beginner stage.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The intermediate stage. Oh, got me a real crimper. And then you get down to the master stage, the hydraulic crimper.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now that is definitely heavy duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're calling you Tim the Tool Man.
I was just thinking
I'm making
that.
I'm making 0, 2, and 4 up connections. Wires in my thumb. And
When-
what does
when
it do?
I-
You can change out the crimps for the different sizes. I can go to 10 gauge if I wanted. I can go to 8 gauge small wire.
Nice.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
When I decided I was going to get regular jumper cables for my vehicle to jump my cars. They had at O'Reilly, they had a sale going on, and I made the decision instead of to get the ones that they had a markdown,
Sail on?
I went and got 2 gauge jumper
Big
cables.
thick ones. Because you
Big,
want to push
thick
amps
ones.
through it. You want to push amps. You want to charge. You want to jump your battery. You can't jump
Yes.
your car through that gauge. 12 volt. Doesn't put 8 amps through here.
No.
You need to push 450 amps. You want the ones that's thicker than your thumbs. You need real. Yeah. There's a reason why it was on sale. Huh? 'Cause inside that,
Everybody
maybe
kept
15
saying,
wire.
everybody at the O'Reilly was saying those are too big for your vehicle. And I says, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not, because
Listen, pal.
you hook those battery cables up to another vehicle and your vehicle's starting like that. You know,
You
jumping.
just tell them, look, pal, I might have to jump a tractor trailer one of these days.
You want to always be prepared. You always want to
Still have them.
have it and not need it, instead of needing it and not having it.
That's what I say with all my rum.
Correct. Correct.
Here's the basic thing. What costs a lot? No, don't talk about diamonds. What costs a lot in this world? What does the world run on? What material?
Electricity.
What element?
Gas.
What element? What else do we have? They gotta pay for them. They're supposed to be in the bank. What's supposed to back up your money? Paper stuff.
Gold.
It's supposed to be in the, what is it?
Gold.
Gold. So metal. Metal has a price. Okay, let's go with metal has a price. If that's the case, and we're not using gold, okay, maybe we have platinum. Oh, they're not using platinum in the wires. Maybe they're using silver. That's dumb. That's too precious. Really conducts electricity. Gold the best. Maybe they have copper. More than likely they do. Where do they come from? Maybe they got aluminum. Yeah, run. Aluminum. So copper. So copper is like gold. It is an element. It is a metal. Gold sets the price of cash in the world. Copper sets a price at a smaller stage. The reason why it's a sale is you pay for what you get with the amount of metal in the wire. So a $10 set of jumper cables, you know, good luck to you. $35, $40 set of jumper cables, you pick them up, you're like, oh, wow, these are heavy. Yeah, they're full of copper. You're paying for it. You pay for what you get. So, yeah, she made the right decision. Rebecca knows things. You learn from Rebecca. You need to jump, call her. That's professional advice. Get her phone number. Wherever you're broken down, Hawaii, Russia, China, Newfoundland. She'll drive there.
I'm not going there. I now don't have a vehicle.
You guys give me so many opportunities to misbehave. I love it.
Yeah.
This is why I can't be on the channel. I'm not trustable. Nobody knows what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't know what I'm going to say next. Billy's fun. Billy's great. They're like, it's late night, not during the day. I assume
Well,
it's early. So
I'm the same way, but it ain't real smart.
I never claim to be smart. I just claim that if I need something done, I can do it.
You know what you know.
I know what I know. Yeah, and that's it.
When I was in Washington State, I got to work on a microwave oven, and we put in a new magnetron in it, which is what generates the power to cook.
Power, yeah.
And the new magnetron that came in didn't work, so I tested it.
No.
It was no good. A brand new one, no good. Tested the next one. It was no good either.
You sure you know how to wire it in there? Maybe it was the operator, not the device.
Yeah,
you can get bad batch. You can get a bad batch.
No, it was something was wrong with the internal electronics on it. I mean, them things got a tight tolerance, and if you don't get it just right, it ain't gonna work.
Well,
we built we took the magnetrons out. We built what are they called? Well, a welding unit, tack welders. My friend Dave and I. The biggest problem from converting a microwave, pulling the guts and the components out to make a tack welder, is the relay device. What kind of relay do you use? There's all different types of relays, and will it handle the amount of crazy amps? And the other thing is the relay fast enough to turn on and shut off without welding itself together or freezing or staying on too long, burning through said product, said cable, said wire, said screw to nut, whatever you're welding? Would that stay on a couple milliseconds too long and melt through into a battery and blow it up and catch it fire? You know? So my friend Dave and I are getting these delay devices. We're buying them off Amazon. We're looking for the best ones. You know, you get what you spend. And we're trying to source relays because we're trying to make a video. His name's David Paz. You're welcome, Dave. David Paz of YouTube. He's getting big now. He used to live near him. Famous solar guy. Some people know Will Smith. Will Paz. Will Paz. Will Smith. Will Paz. Will Paz is huge in California. I think he lives in Nevada somewhere near Las Vegas. But anyways, Dave's getting up there, and those two butt heads, they should be friends. I don't know why they're not. It's just, I don't know. Dave keeps to himself, but he's a great guy. He's an electrical engineer, the Army Corps, whatever. So it was great to learn from him. What was the point of that story? See, I get lost.
Squirrel.
Squirrels, yeah, pretty much.
They said they could turn
Hey, don't eat that.
Oh, that's what it was. Anyways, we had to find the relay, and we had to find, and we went through about 1,000. And in the bloopers, there's us hitting the relay to do the test, to do the weld, to do the tack welding for the battery tabs, and the relay is just blowing up in smoke and fire, which it makes good for YouTube. Just boom and smoke and him smiling like, I didn't know the relay was going to blow up. Oh, I expected it. Me, a little scared 4-year-old, I was like, just running, 240-pound guy clearing 20-foot space in a matter of seconds. That the big flash, you could just see my fat butt running across the room. That was it, yeah. So yeah, there was microwaves for you. I was playing with microwaves. I know you can do that. It's fantastic. Fun times. Wouldn't do it again.
They even said you could turn a old refrigerator compressor motor into a welder.
I don't know what kind of electronics are behind it, but I can figure it out if I looked at it. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Talking about the cat.
Funny.
There's a way to build a byway valve for the back of a compressor refrigerator. That way you could have the refrigerator actually become a warmer, like a food warmer. It would just stay really hot in there, keep your food hot. So yeah, you can reverse engineer refrigerators. It's not hard.
All you would really have to do would be switch the elements around.
It's just in the piping. All this is in the piping in one switch. Reversing the Polaris, everything flows backwards. Unless it has a, what's that called? A one-way valve? What's that called? It's a one-way valve. Chuck valve? What?
Diverter?
Yes.
Check valve.
Diverter?
Unless it's got a bunch of check valves through the system, so that it only flow. But the way refrigerators run is they got this big, thick, wide pipe full of gas, and it goes through the cold, and it condenses back into a liquid, which means the hot gas behind it has more pressure, pushing the cold liquid into the pipe, which goes into your refrigerator.
The opposite of what I'm doing.
Where's
I'm
that?
going to make this into a condenser.
Oh, cool.
Are you bending copper? Is it a Coke bottle? Why?
Yeah.
What is that for?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
Why?
there's going to be a funnel on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to run cold water to the piping.
Yep.
I'm going to funnel steam up into it to condense.
You're making a freshwater drinky do thing.
Water, yep. So fresh
I'm
water.
drinking steel.
Welcome to the channel of Al's Backstep. You can buy Al's drinking water for $9.95.
Yeah, $50 shipping.
I was going to say, at about $50 to $60 shipping
Yeah.
for one bottle.
I came up with that idea because I was looking at this guy had a couple of dehumidifiers, of all things, dehumidifiers thrown out because they were broken. So
Legionnaires' disease, be careful. Just saying.
I drained the Freon out of them, and I took the radiators that were in it. Now I'm turning a broken water condensing system into a working water condensing system.
And Al, you know the way they cheat out in the desert, right? You know when they dig the pit and they put the plastic over and a little rock in the center, and it's nighttime and the sand's ice cold, and
Yep.
then when the sun comes up, it hits the greenhouse, aka the plastic that's over the pit, and all the water. And they put a little cup around the center, a little cup in the center, and there's a lot. You wouldn't believe sand is dry, right? Not at nighttime. So all that moisture and humidity goes into the sand, nice cold sand. And when the sun comes out, it hits that plastic with a little rock in the center. You get the plastic stretch out 4 corners, right? And a little rock in the center, so it makes a little cone, little divot down. You got a cup in the center inside the pit you dug out. You get a little cup of water. That'll keep you alive in the desert. Now look, you're surviving with the Wickershire Project.
You know what they do to cheat for that, though, don't you?
They pour water in the pit previously and then blow dry heat. I don't know what.
You pee around it, and then you put your cup in, You put a glass
That'd work. That'd work. Yeah.
It's the same
Survival.
thing. You're just evaporating the water out of it.
Yeah. The title of that video: Can you drink your own pee? I do. Please click here. That's not clickbait. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm thinking too. Even bottled water, when you buy it, there's stuff in it. There's sodiums and stuff like that into it. If I'm able to make my own distilled water and not have to be buying water, it's even better again. And
Anybody that lives off grid or lives that lifestyle, we need a store. We all need this store. This one magical store where it's cheap and the shipping isn't that big, and the more you order, the free shipping, like Amazon. But you need that one store where people like us can get a cook pot, so while you're cooking your vegetables and up, it's got the little dip that goes over the edge and goes to the little condensed pot, and you have your distilled water while you're cooking instead of it going into the house. And off-gridders need these devices, and they don't sell them. They sell laboratory kits, but who's going to spend $3,000 for one of those Professor Lab kits? Get all the little beakers and stuff. And when the police come in and you're refining sugar and you set those flasks up, you're going to jail for a long time.
That could go wrong in so many ways.
Joe, I warned them, grow big TV, not put me on here. Told you.
Yeah, but there's lots of little things I think about like that when it comes to, just energy saving stuff or ways
Wood
to
stove.
gather.
Yeah, you want to heat your water with your wood stove, huh? You want to recirculate all the heat going out the pipe on your wood stove. It's the first thing wood stove people think of. I gotta heat my water up, wrap the copper around the top, get those little Peltier fans that sit on there. Why? Because the heat goes straight up into the roof. You want the heat to come off the wood stove and blow into the room and circulate the air, keeping the house warm. Makes more sense. There's a good waste of $30. That's a wonderful present. Get on it, you people that know people with wood stove. Al, you got a wood stove?
No, I want one, but I don't have one.
About to say, if you know Al and he has a wood stove, send him a Peltier device. I'll buy one first. Send me one.
No, I do not have a wood stove. Not yet, anyway. That's another plan of mine. But that one's I'm probably going to go with the Boss before I go with a wood stove, honestly. Just because
What do you want to burn? LP?
No, I want to buy a Boss and do it up. Like
travel RV bus conversion.
Yeah.
Your channel will go through the roof. There are certain things on YouTube that really, really do well. And
this
bus
is
conversion.
why I'm thinking about this too, because
Temu. You bought that off of Temu, didn't you? That little
Yes, I did. No, not this one. This one came from Wish. Even better.
I never heard of it. Remember I was mentioned 10 amp charge controllers? They list us 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
Yeah,
What's on the back of that? What does that say for ampage?
Nothing.
That really,
73.
that was made in a garage.
Probably. But I know the USB ports work on it. Because I had it hooked up to the battery and I was able to use the USB ports in it. So
Yeah, they have little chortle transformers in there, little tiny copper wires, these little flat little buttons that sit in front of the 5 volts to regulate the volt coming through. So you only really get an amp out of them, but it's got to be plugged.
Well, this is why this is not running. Like, this is going to run stuff like this. My little LED strips and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm going to hook my inverter is going to go directly onto my battery. Right? And then anything else like my laptop or anything like that, I'm going to try running off of my inverter. Not obviously not this. What?
But yeah, in the summertime, I think one time we saw 3,800 watts coming in. And my panels must have been sort of positioned right, and the sun was at the perfect, only for a few days. And we were pulling in 60-something amps at 48 volts. Actually, at like 60 volts, actually pulling in 109 volts, getting crushed down to 50-something volts. So it said 60 amps, but that's what the solar charge controller was reading from the panels. So you got to add 20% on, 10 to 20% on. I was pushing 70, 75 amps into my batteries, and I touched the positive terminal, the DC terminal, because I'm dumb.
Thought it would be fun.
Yeah. Well, it's grounded. And it's the whole system's fine. It's grounded, not outside. It's a floating ground, but still, it was grounded. The system. Dum touches the positive and gets burned. It was red hot. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's only 60. Oh yeah, that's right. I got a lot of wattage coming in, even though it says there's only 60 amps coming in. That's the amps from the solar panels. That's not the conversion rate of 109 volts getting brought down to 56. If voltage lowers, amps go up. 60 coming in, that must be once it goes through and down through the charge controller. Once it's coming out, going down to the batteries, 75, 80 amps. And yeah, those terminals, that red terminal is red hot.
Well, if mine starts glowing, I'm not going to touch it.
Use it to light a fire, smoke your cigarettes off of. You can just cigar, whatever.
I'll just drip a bit of water on it beforehand. If it sizzles, I won't touch.
Oh, because water and electricity go well together, right?
I was thinking that.
Just make sure you have bare feet when you do it. You're touching something else that's metal. Grab somebody you love. Grab somebody you love. Here, hold my hand. I love you. We're going to do something stupid. Just reach out and touch. We're going to teach you how to shake, how to do a dance.
I found out something. I had unplugged what are those? It was a light that had those tube type lights. And I had unplugged it, that has a ballast in there. And
you're talking about grounding here. Okay,
accidentally I touched the end and it shocked me.
Yeah, that's 120 or 220 volts going through you.
That was fun. Whoa.
No, it's like it's a hot, numbing, burning sizzle in the finger or thumb that you touch. It's like this really uncomfortable bzzz, right? It was hot to the touch, like almost. And if you ever do like the side of your arm on that when something's ungrounded, it just feels like someone's pinching your skin off. You get a little zing. Yeah, I've been there. This guy here learning about AC didn't know how to neutral ground or float around or do a neutral or do a ground on a case. Yeah, I learned.
Hi, Natasha.
Is that budget preppers? Okay. I don't know
prepper.
Natasha. Hi, Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha. She was talking about her
Unmuted. Hi.
she had was talking about the blanket that someone gifted her and that her husband keeps taking. So now I can tell her, I will be sending you another blanket for your husband, so he stops taking yours.
And sew in, so you obviously know how to sew. Sew in, not yours. The word's not yours.
Yeah.
Hi, Natasha.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I've gone way over time that I even planned for.
I don't remember who gifted it to you, but I've got plenty of that yarn back here. I'm gonna go ahead and make him one.
I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping in today. I really appreciate it. Anyone that stopped in, this was a knowledge fest for me for sure, because I'm just picking up so many ideas and things that I wasn't doing that now I'm gonna do.
I didn't learn anything today.
No, nothing. Liar. You just said a few minutes ago you learned about what was it?
Condensing on a condenser with the bottle.
And there was something else too. You said you remembered but you forgot. Freon. There you go.
Freon. I already forgot.
And the wonderful thing is, though, you can run this back again and again and again and watch it and learn from it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anything that I've missed, I can go back now and look and say, okay.
Yeah.
You can go back now.
Thank you, Billy. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you. That was very informative. Even I learned something.
So
Yeah, I get told all the time I should make solo videos. Boring to me. Go learn yourself. I ain't doing it. There's so many on the internet. He's trying to wrap
Well,
up, so
If I get that Victron charge controller, I'm going to do a video on it.
smart, not Blue Sky, Victron smart controllers, Bluetooth.
I looked it up,
And
and it is exactly that. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, no LCD display. They never do it. They want you to spend another $80 to buy the little circle that goes with that. Get out of here.
Yeah.
This charge
Yeah.
controller costs $90 already.
Yeah, this controller right now is on for $176.
176. You check it on Amazon?
Yep,
this is Amazon, yeah.
it's my 38% off right now. I wish I could afford it right now.
Did you check their website directly to compare prices?
Let's go do that.
He hasn't done that.
I haven't
I'm
done
just
it in a
saying.
while.
Oh,
yeah,
you-
no.
Al, we trying to get off, Al?
yeah, I gotta go. I just got some messages. I gotta go and do a few things, but I appreciate all you guys for coming up here, and you guys can hang out in the after party and have a chat.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, all of you guys up on panel, and everyone that stopped in throughout today. Of course,